Good morning. Thank you for sitting here with me this morning. What is your name?
My name's Ethan Michelle Gans with the Pure Justice Organization.
All right, thank you. Today we will be talking about bail. What do you think about people sitting in jail behind an accusation that may or may not be true?
Well, I don't think anybody should be incarcerated if they have not been found guilty of something. Why should we be putting innocent people behind bars?
Okay. What if the accusation is something serious, but yet it's just an accusation that may or may not be true?
Um, if they were caught red-handed murdering somebody or doing something dangerous, maybe I could see. I don't know. We'd have, but maybe if they're caught totally red-handed, but not just by one person, because somebody could lie. I don't know.
Okay. Well, how does it make you feel to know innocent people are sitting behind bars simply because they're too poor and can't afford to pay bail?
It makes me angry. And what makes me even more angry is that there are people making money off of those people sitting behind bars.
Right.
There are private prisons, for-profit prisons that people are stakeholders in and stockholders in, and they're making money for all these people that are in jail.
Right. Disgrace. Did you know, and this is according to the Kinder Institute, that over 40% of Americans can't afford a $400 emergency?
I absolutely know that because I can't afford a $400 emergency. I'm people.
Yeah, yeah, it's sad. But so, what if I told you there's people sitting behind bars right now on low-level charges because they could not afford to pay $100 bond? Like, how does that make you feel?
Angry because nobody should be incarcerated based on their economic abilities. We shouldn't be, making poverty a crime anyway. Poverty isn't a crime. It's a sad thing that happens because we don't have an equitable system.
Right. I mean, at least we should not be getting charged for anything simply because we're poor, but yet it happens all the time, all over the world. Do you feel communities are safer by releasing those that can afford a cash bail over keeping those incarcerated that may not have the funds to bond out, and why?
Absolutely not. And the reason why is because when people have privilege to where they know they can pay their way out of things, they're probably much more likely to do dangerous things and re-offend whatever they did, because they know they can just get out of it. They can pay this money and there you go, get good lawyers and get that economic privilege. But common folk don't get that opportunity.
Right. Do you know what a PR bond is?
I do.
Okay. Well, for those that don't know what a PR bond is, it's a personal recognizance bond. It's a personal recognizance bond that is granted by a court judge once the review of an individual's case and criminal history has been completed during a pretrial hearing. But in plain language, it simply means freedom to those that can't afford bail of any sort. Better used while dealing with those that may be less fortunate or have a lack of funding. Have you ever been incarcerated?
I have never been incarcerated. My wife has had issues with the law, and I've had exes that had issues with the law. I personally have had a lot of police privilege, so I've been lucky and privileged in that way at least.
Do you know anyone that had to sit behind bars because they couldn't afford bail?
Yes, and I've known people Like, the last time my wife was picked up, we were in Pasadena and I was driving and we were stopped because her grandmother didn't have a seatbelt on in the back seat. And they started immediately harassing her in the passenger seat about who she was, what she was doing. I have no idea why. And they ended up taking her to jail out of the car. She was the passenger. After insisting that she tell them who she is and all kinds of stuff. She had a warrant, an old warrant that they took her to jail on, and they held her in jail in Pasadena and everything, and then they sent her to Harris County, and I ended up losing a job because I had to take the day off to try to set up her bail, and I had to call a bunch of people to try to find money for the bail. Luckily, we were able to find people to help donate to her bail, and so I had to take like a day and like 2 days off work to take care of this, and I ended up losing my job because I took those 2 days off work.
So you already was struggling to come up with some money for a cash bail and had to take off work, which takes more money out of your pocket to figure out how to get someone out of jail that have a cash bail that you can't. Do you remember how much the bond was?
I don't. But it was more than what I thought should be.
Do you remember how long they had to sit in jail?
She was only in jail a few days, but I got her out as quick as I could.
But that few days cost you your job
Mm-hmm.
and money you didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention the stuff that was coming down the pipeline that you already knew that you had to take care of, like rent, housing, food, and so on and so forth.
And then we had to go through a whole nother thing of court over and over again for months on end, and pay a lawyer and all kinds of stuff.
Okay, this is my last question for you. How do you feel about a bond, no bond system? Meaning, all accused of a certain crime or crimes are held or released despite paying a cash bail or not. Or in other words, how do you feel about abolishing cash bail in general?
I think that's the thing we need to do. I mean, it seems absurd that we're letting privilege for economic ability. Like, okay, so you were able to have this money, so okay, you can go free. Oh, you're too poor to have this money. Sorry, you can't be free. You're now a prisoner. And that in itself shows inequity. It's absurd that this is happening. It's absurd that it's ever been okay. And I can't imagine why anyone would think it's acceptable when we're supposed to have a system that says that you are innocent until you're proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. There's a reason why there's a judge and a jury. There's a reason why we have a system set up a certain way. And if we're incarcerating folks before they even get to that point to where they get a chance to be heard and proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt, then, I mean, what are we doing? We're just incarcerating innocent folks, even if they are guilty. Unless they haven't been proven that, then they're not guilty. They're innocent. They're innocent until proven guilty. That's the way it's supposed to be anyway. That's what they tell us.
Well, Ethan, I thank you for your time, and that's it for me.
Thank you.